Hello, my name is Louise Evans. I'm a journalist and an author from Australia. I have written a book about my uncle called Passage to Pusan. My uncle Vincent Healy, he died in the Korean War. And I can honestly say that after being here and looking at this museum, I am very proud that my uncle Vincent helped contribute to the freedom of Korea. I'm in Korea for the next 10 days,
Yes.
Which is a great honor. And I'm very proud to be here because we are making a documentary about my book, Passage to Pusan, which tells the story of my uncle, Vincent Healy, who died fighting in the Korean War. So my uncle Vincent, as you can see, very handsome man. He was born in a place called Sandgate in Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. He was the eldest son of 10 children. And he was like a father to the rest of the children because his father was absent. So he was like a father to the rest of the children. He joined the army and his wages helped support the family, his other 9 siblings. When he was old enough, he joined the army and he was posted to the Korean War. And he died in March 7, 1951 in the Pusan Mountains. He died on what they called Hill 410, which was the height of the mountain. And he was a machine gunner, a medium machine gunner. And but it was very cold. It was March. It was the worst winter that they had had in many, many years, and they could not get the machine guns up the mountain to fight the Chinese. So my uncle, he was a sergeant, so he rallied his men to help bring down the wounded. So he could not get the guns up to the hill to fight the enemy. So he and his men acted as stretcher bearers to bring the wounded down from the hill. And it was while he was bringing the wounded down from the hill that he died. So he was helping his friends. But the story of the book is really, it's called Passage to Pusan because it is the story really of my grandmother. Her name is Thelma, Thelma. And when her son died in 1951, it broke her heart. So she vowed that before she died, she would find his grave. So back then, the soldiers, all the UN soldiers, were buried in Pusan. It was back then called Pusan. So she vowed that before she died, she would find his grave. But she was very poor. She had no money. She had 9 children.
To fly here.
So she had to save up for 10 years. 10 years, to save up to come to Korea. So my uncle died in 1951. So in 1961, finally, she has enough money to come to Korea, and it takes her 2 weeks. So she
stays here for 2 weeks.
No, it takes her 2 weeks to get here.
Oh, wow.
So she takes...
By ship?
By ship. So this is her route. This is my grandmother's route. So 15,000 kilometers back then took 2 weeks. So she takes the boat from Australia to Japan. And then she flies from Japan. She takes a train to the train station. Then so first the boat, then the train, then she takes the plane to Seoul.
From Lady Tokyo.
Yes. And then she meets up with some Australian diplomats, and they take her down to Pusan, to the graveyard, and finally she finds the grave of her son, and so her passage to Pusan takes her 10 years, and finally she gets to his grave.
Is it still there?
Yes. A little bit different now. Back then, just a wooden cross. So finally she gets to visit his grave. And
Have you ever visited his grave?
I am visiting
This time.
this time
Okay.
for myself.
Okay.
Yeah, so I am following in my grandmother's footsteps.
Oh, that's really great.
Yeah, yeah.
Very nice.
So this is the story of my grandmother's passage to Pusan, and now I am doing my passage to Pusan. And I need to tell you about this medal. So this is her medal.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So when my uncle died, so no body, no funeral, no belongings, no nothing. She has nothing left of him.
Yeah.
But the Korean government, your government, give her this medal. Yeah. So this is very important to her.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So
And the medal is from your uncle, or just for like a memory of
it is to say thank you.
Just
Yeah.
say thank you.
Yeah. So here she is. She wrote a diary, and is this diary that I have used to help write the book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she wrote a diary of her passage to Pusan. Yeah.
So then you like rewrite
Yes. Yeah.
her story.
Including my uncle and what he did in the Korean War. Korean War. So there was 21 nations that fought in the Korean War. So the Korean government, to say thank you for the sacrifice of the family member, they invite family members to come to Korea to show them the grave, to say thank you. Yeah, in this museum, the places that I really like are the installations, how you have brought the story to life, and I think it's really important for visitors, but also for the young Korean generation to understand, what happened here in Korea and why Korea is such a healthy, prosperous, democratic, economy, which is a great world citizen. I think this museum helps reinforce where Korea has come from and where Korea is going. This war memorial is one of the best places to visit in Korea. It is very good, number one.